Hey, this is LA from LA Show. Thank you so much for tuning back into another episode of LA Show's current events. Please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for more. Now let's get into these stories. Hey, this is LA from LA Show. Please join me for LA Show, the podcast, now available on Spotify, Anchor FM, Breaker FM, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. You can find me by clicking the link in my bio now. Thank you so much for tuning in. You don't want to miss it, so check it out. Welcome back to LA Show. All Black-owned businesses, please hit me up for any promotion needed. Today we're going to get into some current events. I'm going to give you guys updates on some stories we've already covered. First case is Ahmaud Arbery's case. I have an article here from NewYorkDailyNews.com. Ahmaud Arbery's mom says George Floyd's killing sent me back. This was posted on June 2nd of 2020. The grieving mother of Ahmaud Arbery, the black jogger who was fatally shot by two white men in Georgia, said the killing of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police has made a dramatic impact on her grieving process. I was beginning to heal, to feel better, but once I viewed the video of Mr. Floyd being murdered, it sent me back, Wanda Cooper Jones said in an interview Tuesday. She said the February shooting of her son and Floyd's in-custody death last week shows America has a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, the citizens of the United States, especially African Americans, we feel like we don't have a voice, Cooper Jones said. Ahmaud was just murdered back in February, and in May we have the same type of event occur again, she said. The people of America, we're ready for change. We need answers, and foremost, we need these killings to stop. We need it to cease, and we need it to cease immediately. Her 25-year-old son was killed on February 23rd after ex-cop Gregory McMichael and his son, Travis, chased him on a residential neighborhood outside Brunswick, confronted him, and shot him during a struggle that was partly caught on video. The suspects, who claimed they were looking for a burglary suspect when Arbery attacked them, were charged with murder shortly after the video surfaced on social media last month, more than 10 weeks after the killing. Floyd, meanwhile, was being detained on suspicion of forgery on May 25th when now fired police officer Derek Chauvin pressed his knee into his neck for nearly 9 minutes, ignoring the handcuffed man's repeated pleas that he couldn't breathe. Civil rights attorney S. Lee Merritt, who represents Floyd's and Arbery's families, also appeared on the show alongside Cooper Jones and called for international condemnation against America's systematic racism. America should be shamed for its actions, he said. America's failed to reconcile itself, and so we're looking for the international community to unilaterally condemn America's actions. But the other thing is, America is supposed to be a nation of laws. There needs to be new laws on the books that regulate police officers, both their behavior and accountability. I also have an article here from CNN. Governor warns bad actors against disrupting hearings for those accused in Ahmaud Arbery killing. This was posted June 3rd of 2020. Preliminary hearings are scheduled Thursday for Travis McMichael, Greg McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan Jr. in the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery, according to Glenn County Magistrate Court in coastal Georgia. The hearings are scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gregory and Travis McMichael were arrested May 7th and February 23rd shooting death of Arbery outside of Brunswick. They face murder and aggravated assault charges, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Bryan, the man who recorded the fatal shooting of Arbery, was arrested last month on charges including felony murder. We will have a strong state law enforcement presence in the region to support the local government, including the Georgia State Patrol, the Department of Natural Resource Officers, Georgia Guard troops, GEMA officials, and other related state agencies, Governor Brian Kemp said during a news conference last week. Kemp delivered a strong message to anyone seeking to disrupt the proceedings. We will take the appropriate actions to hold bad actors accountable if they try to infiltrate what have been very peaceful gatherings in that community for well over a month now, he said. Let me be clear once again. We will not tolerate disruptive or dangerous behavior, including criminal conduct, and we will put the safety of our citizens first. It's been months now, and all I can say is I'm ready for these men that ran up on this young man and shot him like a dog in the street. I'm ready for them to be in jail. They've been out too long lollygagging around this situation, and my heart goes out to Ahmaud Arbery's family, of course. Condolences all the way around, because he did not clearly deserve to die. So we will see what takes place in court. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let's talk about our sister, Breonna Taylor. I have an article here from courierjournal.com. Louisville Metro Council demands Breonna Taylor investigation to be finished by the end of the week. This was posted on June 2nd of 2020. The Louisville Metro Council is demanding that Mayor Greg Fisher put any and all necessary resources into the police department's public integrity unit to finish its investigation into the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor by Friday. Metro Council President David James said it is unacceptable that the case of Taylor, an unarmed black woman who was shot by police in her apartment on March 13th, has not yet been completed. The mayor has the power to do that. He has the power to direct resources there, and we demand that it take place so it can be turned over to the Attorney General, James said during a press briefing Monday. James' comments came hours after an attorney for Taylor's family told the Courier-Journal the investigation into the Louisville Metro police officers' conduct in the fatal shooting could take 2 or 3 more months. Taylor's death and the time that has elapsed since police began investigating have led thousands to take to the streets of Louisville to demand justice and express frustration. On Monday, James announced that he is having Metro Council's Government Oversight Committee look into 2 incidents regarding police responses to the protest. First, James said the committee will look into why police fired tear gas on what appeared to be a peaceful demonstration at Jefferson Square before the city's 9 p.m. curfew on Sunday. Assistant Police Chief Levita Chavos told reporters Sunday night that police dispersed the crowd because some protesters had leaf blowers that could be used to direct chemicals at police. She added that it was an illegal protest even before the curfew set in because participants didn't have a permit. James said Monday this reasoning doesn't seem adequate. Additionally, the committee will investigate the circumstances surrounding the fatal shooting of David McAtee, who was killed early Monday morning as Louisville Metro Police and National Guard were trying to break up a large crowd in a parking lot at West Broadway and 26th Street. Police said that shortly after midnight, someone shot at officers at the location, leading the police and National Guard to return fire. Police released additional video footage Tuesday afternoon that they said shows McAtee firing a gun before law enforcement officials returned fire that killed McAtee. James described McAtee, the owner of Yaya's Barbecue, as a friend and someone who cared about the West End. We are told the National Guard would be used to protect critical assets in our community. And then I found out this morning that my friend is dead because of actions taken by the police department, James said through tears. We all need to know why, what happened and why it happened, said James, a former police officer. Where was the breakdown? How did the National Guard end up being in West Louisville? Why was there such a massive police response to the corner of 26th and Broadway? And why is my friend dead? Governor Andy Beshear ordered Kentucky State Police to investigate the shooting, which will be a joint effort between the FBI Louisville Field Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District, federal officials said. The 2 Louisville Metro police officers involved in the shooting did not have body cameras on them, Fisher announced Monday afternoon. This failure to follow police protocol led Fisher to fire LMPD Chief Steve Conrad, who was set to step down at the end of the month. James also announced several other measures during the Monday press conference, including the creation of a permanent committee on equity and inclusion and legislation to make 911 audio calls and LMPD body cameras subject to open records, even if the city has an ongoing investigation. More than 10 members of the Metro Council and 2 state legislators spoke during the press conference about the state of Louisville and actions they demand the Fisher administration take. Councilwoman Paula McCraney, a Democrat in the 7th District, said that the time is ripe for us to get things right. We can go no longer stand by the wayside and watch our people suffer, said McCraney, who is a co-chair on the newly formed Civilian Review Board work group. Councilwoman Donna Purvis, a Democrat in the 5th District, said the community is tired of being played with and needs an answer quickly on what led to the fatal shooting of McAtee and why police and National Guard members were dispatched to the West End. The community waited too long to get the evidence and the facts leading to Breonna Taylor's murder, Purvis said. I don't want us to wait another 3 months to tell us why did we lose another life. Wow. Rest in peace to these people. Breonna Taylor was in her home. Another story of police officers coming inside of homes. You know, I would have thought this would have shook up America, but, you know, we're still waiting on justice. It is just really crazy to me that people are not alarmed by this story. First of all, she's a woman, and secondly, they came into her home, and they weren't even supposed to. But I know that shedding light and keeping light on this story will help. So let me know what you guys think about this tragedy that happened to Breonna Taylor. It seems like things are heating up in the case for George Floyd. I have an article here from the New York Times. George Floyd updates. 3 more officers charged. Chauvin murder charge upgraded. This was posted June 3rd of 2020. 3 officers were charged with aiding and abetting murder in the death of George Floyd, and the officer who pressed his knee into Mr. Floyd's neck was charged with second-degree murder. Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, announced the charges at a news conference Wednesday afternoon. The 3 officers, Thomas Lane, age 37, J. Alexander Quang, age 26, and Tu Tao, age 34, were charged with aiding and abetting murder, court records show. Mr. Quang was in custody on Wednesday, county jail records showed. The authorities said they were in the process of arresting Mr. Lane and Mr. Tao. The 4th officer, Derek Chauvin, age 44, who was arrested last week, faces an increased charge of second-degree murder. This is a bittersweet moment, Ben Crump, a lawyer for Mr. Floyd's family, said in a statement. This is a significant step forward on the road toward justice, and we are gratified that this important action was brought before George Floyd's body was laid to rest. That is a source of peace for George's family in this painful time. All 4 officers were quickly fired from the Minneapolis Police Department after video of the fatal encounter emerged. Prosecutors faced growing calls for charges against all 4 as anger and anguish over Mr. Floyd's death sent demonstrations into the streets in cities and towns across the country over the past week. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota said that the new charges are a meaningful step toward justice for George Floyd. But he added, we must also recognize that the anguish driving protests around the world is about more than one tragic incident. Mr. Tao had faced 6 prior misconduct complaints in his career with the Minneapolis Police Department. He also was the subject of a lawsuit that claimed he and another officer punched, kicked, and kneed an African-American man, leaving the man with broken teeth and bruises. A lawyer involved in the case said the city settled the case by agreeing to pay $25,000. Mr. Chauvin had faced at least 17 misconduct complaints over nearly 2 decades with the department. Mr. Lane nor Mr. Quang had prior misconduct complaints filed against them, according to the police department. While I didn't read the whole article, it's really long, drawn out. I just wanted to get the pertinent information out there. I do see the strength that we have, and I hope we can keep this up and get some changes really made. Rest in peace to George Floyd, and we send love and light out to all of these families that are going through this. Injustice by the police means that they can do whatever, whenever, and however. So we must pay attention to stories like this. Let me know what you guys think down below. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications for more. Also, please follow me on one of my social media platforms listed in the description box so that you can stay up to date with these stories.